It's time to be a coach, not a sales manager.
There's good coaching and bad coaching.
A coach is someone that's going to tell you something you don't want to hear.
Salespeople, they don't want to hear things that they probably need to hear.
Instead, I'm going to be your boss. I need to learn stuff.
A salesperson that doesn't have personal goals, really isn't a salesperson.
And that's probably a great point for a sales manager.
And then there's also, points that they try to make that just make no sense.
Boy, I tell you what, I think every now and then you need somebody to sit back and just say, it's just not working. All right, well, welcome back to Sales Made Easy. I'm Tom at Sales Made Easy. Of course, you can always get a hold of me at Tom at Sales Made Easy. But as always, we like to talk to sales managers, salespeople, and give you, not only stuff that I've learned over the years, but also kind of glean from other people's minds and what they do. Now, today I'm lucky I've got Jason Moore here. I've known Jason for how many years have I known you, Jason?
Oh, Tom, it's probably be over 20 years.
So, and let me tell you a little bit about Jason. Jason's in the aerospace world. He sells to Boeing, Lockheed, government, and he's one of the top producers in aerospace as far as sales. And this is somebody with no aerospace experience, no sales experience. So, Jason, what would you attribute? What would you say was the fast growth of those? How you came up with that?
Well, that's a good question, Tom. I think the key attributes that led to the success was just sitting down, mapping out a plan. Most importantly, I know in Sandler training, we all talk about having a cookbook. When the chef gets in the kitchen, he's got a list of, if he's making an apple pie, he's got a list of ingredients that, he has to put together. He knows that he needs to get the outcome of, an apple pie. So to use that analogy, it's the same in sales, like attend networking events, touch calls, making warm calls, cold call, the daily behaviors that you have to do to put in a cookbook to get the desired outcome you want. So, and then also, studying successful salespeople and mentorship. I think those are big keys in being successful in sales.
Yeah, good one. Why do you think so many new salespeople stay away from that as opposed to going towards it?
Yeah, that's, again, being a former football coach, I think was it Tom Landry that said, a coach is somebody that's going to tell you what you don't want to hear without having resentment towards them to make you better. I think it's more along the line of, salespeople or people just not wanting to take coaching because they don't want to hear things that they probably need to hear, in order to take that step to be successful.
Well, that's a great point. You think about that from a coaching perspective. A coach is someone that's going to tell you something you don't want to hear, and hopefully get there. And that's probably a great point for sales managers, right? You've had sales managers over the years. And how many of them do you think gave you stuff you didn't want to hear, but actually, you respected?
Yeah, a lot of them, they've said things that, I didn't want to hear, but it was, it attributed as, success. And then there's also, points that they try to make that just make no sense. And you're like, I disagree with that, but so it's good and bad, there's good coaching and bad coaching. So, and I've, and that's where, when you get some of the bad points, you can sit down during your one-on-one and have that conversation, like, well, this is what I believe. And I feel, the right thing to do. And you discuss it and, and you're two adults and you stay adult to adult and, you move forward, you keep moving forward.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, I think that was something that when I was a young sales manager, when I became a sales manager, it's funny. I applied for the job as a sales manager, a salesperson. I applied for the job as a sales manager and I got it. I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? Right. And probably one of the first things I did was call the people in the new territory I had, the salespeople, and said, I'm going to be your boss. I need to learn stuff. They teach. I had a lot of respect for the salespeople that were doing. And I think that's probably the big thing is sales managers that aren't willing to learn. And it's easy as a salesperson to go back in your office and everything's fine when it's not, because you don't want to let people know. And we read all these books about the power of positivity. So you got to be positive. But boy, I tell you what, I think every now and then you need somebody to sit back and just say, boy, things are just screwed up. It's just not working, and having two other people sitting there going, you'll get out of it. Come on, just do this. How many calls did you make this week? Well, no wonder things are messed up. You don't work, you need that in a butt. What about, you encounter it, I encounter it. I go into these industries like aerospace where companies bring me in, they want me to help their sales force, and they've got maybe 10 or 15% or 4 or 5 guys that have been there for 400 years. And, they got 30 years experience. I've been doing this for 30 years. And unfortunately, they've been doing it 1 year the same way for 30 years. What do you see as their biggest problem?
Just being set in their own ways. I think, change happens every day. And if you're not open to change, it could be a career killer. It could, everything changes every day. The weather changes every day. Our bodies change every day. I mean, it's no different, with career and with sales. Like, you have to be willing to change and try new things. And I think, a lot of times people get set in their way. It's like, oh, we've always done it this way. That can kill companies, that could kill teams and kill careers. We've always done it this way, and on a positive side of that is, with technology today, like, there's not a lot of face-to-face interaction, and those guys that have been in sales for 30 plus years, they know how to be in front of people, and they go out and network and make friends because they didn't have the technology that young salespeople have today.
But, so we take some great points today from Jason. You think about it, what he said for sales managers, if you're thinking, he said, it's time to be a coach, not a sales manager, right? Are you coaching someone? Do you have the respect of someone or the trust that you can give them information they don't want to hear and they still respect you, right? So that's part of what you have to do. The other thing is, as a coach, as a manager, are you willing to learn yourself from your salespeople, right? And that's not talking about, hey, they're complaining, they got to do call reports. That's not it. But if you show them how you're using those call reports, right? They might tell you, hey, this is probably more information. I should give you this information instead of that information, and you can learn. And then what Jason told us about, if you're in sales, maybe new, maybe struggling, maybe wherever you're at, not top dog, what made him jump to the top and stay at the top for so many years is, number one, setting goals. Do you have personal goals? Forget about what the goals the company gives you. If your personal goals don't outweigh those goals, you're in trouble, right? And then journal. Do you journal every day? Debrief yourself. Hey, this is what went well yesterday. This is what I'm going to do today. Do you journal on a daily basis? And then have an accountability partner, have an accountability group, or get together with 3 other 4 of the sales people. They don't have to be from your company. Get together with them and just have coffee and say, how'd your week go? What happened to you this week? This is what happened to me this week. Have some of those discussions. So, and then lastly, for you old vets, right? You told you it's change. Everything's changing. So if you're not willing to change, you're going to be in trouble. So, Jason, any last words before we sign off?
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on, Tom, as always. And, if there's anything I can do for you, let me know.
And we'll see you at the next boot camp.
Yes, I'll be at the next boot camp. As long as your doors will always be open, I will be there.
Great, Jason. Well, thanks so much for having. Once again, this is Tom at salesmadeeasy.com. This is podcast Sales Made Easy. If you want to learn from other people like yourself, if you want to learn from people that are doing great, you want to learn it from sales managers, this is the place to tune into once a week. and you'll see every guest we have. Talk to you soon. Thanks,
All right.
everyone.
Thank you.